Greetings, friends, and welcome to another exciting episode of Matt's Minutes. As you can see behind me, we are back in front of the Disney wall, so that must mean that we have another Disney-themed episode today. And you would be correct. We do. So this one is going to be a little bit different. I'm used to doing lists of some kind on this channel, but the one I'm going to do today is going to be specifically my top 10 favorite Disney movies as of right now. So this, as I've mentioned in the past, my wife and I are huge Disney fans, and so this is only a list for right now. My top 10 list changes quite regularly for Disney movies, so, take this as you will. But I figured, this would be a good time to explain what my favorite Disney movies are. A couple of things to keep in mind. Number one, we are including Pixar movies into this, though you won't see all that many of them. And number two, these are not my favorite Disney franchises, these are favorite movies. So the franchise thing would be a completely different list. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think. Would you guys actually want to see a top 10 Disney franchise list? Because that would be something I would be more than willing to do. Last order of business is this is going to be a two-part episode so that I can give each particular movie its due justice without making this video 20 minutes long. So, without any further ado, let's get into it. One more quick thing, there will be spoilers for these movies. So if you haven't seen every single Disney movie, or there might be a couple here and there that you want to catch up on, I recommend, going and watching those. But if you continue with this video, then you're okay with spoilers. I mean, most of these are fairly old, so you should be fine. But there are a couple of newer ones on here, so just something to keep in mind. Anyway, back to it. Coming in at number 10, we have Disney Pixar's Coco. This is a fantastic movie, and I went into it not really knowing what to expect. I'm not really a big Dia de los Muertos fan, but they did it really, really well. And I think there was so much culture that they really got right and nailed with this movie, and it was really awesome to see. Also, the music was absolutely incredible. I loved the music in this movie. I think it was just really appropriate for the movie itself. The only reason it isn't higher on this list is because number one, Miguel is a little annoying to me. And number two, the big plot twist came out of nowhere and it really didn't do anything. Like, there's just a bunch of things that really didn't make sense to me. Like, you mean that after 70, 80 years, this guy never knew that he died because of poison? He thought it was chorizo, like, all that time? That doesn't make sense. Or Ernesto de la Cruz was like, wait a second, I have a grandson? Like, how is that even... Like, he didn't question. He said, oh, cool. Like, that also was a little strange. Like, there was a lot of things that really didn't add up plot-wise, so I kind of have to count that against it. Overall, though, it is a fantastic movie, and I recommend it if you haven't seen it. Coming in at number 9, we have the last Pixar movie on this list, and that is Toy Story, the original, the OG, number 1. I loved that movie as a kid, and I think a lot of why I love this movie so much is because of nostalgia. But also keep in mind, this movie had, Tim Allen and Tom Hanks. Like, wow, those are some pretty big name people, and their chemistry throughout the movie was just nothing short of spectacular. The plot was good, it wasn't great, but it was good, especially for the time. Also at the time, the animation was amazing, though it really doesn't hold up nowadays, but, what can you say? And I watched that movie and it's just pure nostalgia for me. That being said, like I said, the animation doesn't really hold up. The plot is kind of but it does have some great movies like Buzz and Woody falling with style. Please excuse me. And there's just a lot of classic things that come from that. And then after that, I feel like they kind of went downhill. So I'm not including Toy Story 2, 3, or 4. just, I mean, nothing really wrong with those movies except for Toy Story 4. Didn't care for that one at all. But Toy Story 1, it's a good movie. It's a good movie. That's all I gotta say. It's a good movie. Coming in at number 8, we have Aladdin. Aladdin is just a classic Disney movie, and if you haven't seen it, I don't really know what to tell you. It's great. You know, it does have some things that make it a little bit not as great. Like, sometimes the plot's a little generic, like, oh, there's a really poor guy, and through a series of unfortunate events, he becomes rich. Though I like their way of doing it a little bit differently with the genie and him marrying Jasmine in order to acquire his riches and stuff. Like, I think that was it was a really good movie, a really good way of doing things. I also really like the music in it, but I think we all know the main reason we're here and why this is on the list. It's Robin Williams. He knocked it out of the park. It was great. His performance as the genie is just legendary. Now, they did have a live-action Aladdin, which, you know, I didn't hate. I thought it was good. Will Smith, I actually really appreciated his genie. I know a lot of people were like, oh, he's trying to replace Robin Williams, but I didn't think he was. I think he tried to bring his own pizzazz to the role, and it worked out really, really well. I think the way that he did it was quite good. You know, I didn't like everything in the live action, but I like most of it. Would I still watch it? Absolutely. Do I prefer the animated? Yeah. Matter of fact, I do. But, yeah, man. I don't really know what else to say, except Aladdin is just a great movie, and if you haven't seen it, go watch it. If you have seen it, you know why I'm talking about it. Coming in at number 7 is one that I feel like a lot of people are gonna would rank a lot higher on their list, and that is The Lion King. Don't get me wrong. I love The Lion King. I love The Lion King from the moment it came out. It's fantastic. I don't really have anything bad to say about The Lion King, which is why making this list is so hard for me, because it really just comes down to nostalgia and how much I really, you know, personally connect with all these stories. And Scar's one of my all-time favorite Disney villains, because guess what? He actually succeeded in what he said he was going to do and ruled for quite a long time. So not only was he a great villain with his personality, he was actually really successful at everything he set out to do, which is great. Mufasa, his voice will forever go down legendary. I mean, with the great James Earl Jones, how do you go wrong with that? And man, I really do struggle for words when it comes to putting in how much I adore the animated Lion King. Notice I said animated. Live action was almost a slap in the face. I think they could have done so much better. Like, for one thing, when Simba is singing I Just Can't Wait to Be King, he has the same exact expression on his face as when Mustafa died. Mustafa. Ooh. Saying that name's fun. Anyway, but yeah, he had the same exact expression on his face. So that really kind of takes away from the movie to some extent. Now, I do like in the live action where they quoted Beauty and the Beast, but I mean, on the whole, the live action was not really as good. But I'm not really, you know, the animated's fantastic, so I know a lot of people would have put this higher on their list, but for me, again, this really goes to show how hard this list was for me to make. So for right now, Lion King's at number 7. Could that change in the future? Yes, and it probably will. But for right now, I'm comfortably going to say it's number 7. Coming in at number 6, we have one I think is very, very underrated in the Disney community, and that is The Emperor's New Groove. I don't know why people aren't talking about this movie more. I love The Emperor's New Groove, and I have since the very first time I've seen it. It's hilarious even to this day. Yeah, the plot is a little, you know, it's not bad. I mean, it's a little bit unique in that the Emperor gets turned into a llama and now he wants to get his body back. I mean, that's pretty cool. But the whole, like, shenanigans that they all go through to do this, oh my gosh, it's just great, and it's hysterical, and it's got pretty remarkable voice acting cast. I mean, I don't know why more people don't appreciate this movie. I mean, I really struggle to think of anything even at Disney World that's Emperor's New Groove related. But I digress. I love this movie. I still think it's hilarious to this day. Now, we're not talking about the sequels or the TV show or anything like that because I've never watched them. I've heard they're not worth your time, so I don't know. But for me personally, Emperor's New Groove, solid movie. Please go watch it if you haven't seen it already. And that will do it for this week's list. Please join us on Wednesday for when I finish numbers 5 through 1. If you like this video, please give it a like and subscribe if you haven't already to stay up to date on all the latest content. What is your list for your favorite Disney movies? Doesn't have to be top 10 or anything. Just tell me some of your favorites. Do you agree with some of the things that I said? You probably do to some extent. Do you disagree with some of the things I said? You probably do to some extent. So let me know in the comment section down below what's your opinion on this list, and tune in later this week for the remaining part of this episode. My name has been Matt, and thank you guys so much for tuning in. In the meantime, when you wish upon a star, all your dreams will come true.